letting go of impeachment even while the pandemic is going on. They're still trying to get their hands on redacted grand jury material from the Mueller probe. Here's Donald Trump sounding off earlier.
Nobody's been abused by Pfizer like the President of the United States. The top of the FBI, they were dirty cops. They were crooked, bad people. These people, they broke the law. They broke the law. What they've done to General Flynn should never happen. What they've done to the presidency and what they've done to this country can never be allowed to happen again to our country.
And we've got our hands on a fully declassified Susan Rice email from January 2017 describing an Oval Office meeting about the Russia investigation. It shows the Obama administration had a laser focus on Mike Flynn, and former FBI Director James Comey even suggested sensitive information on Russia not be shared with Flynn. All right, Judge Jeanine, this never stops. What do you think's going on now?
Well, you know what I think is fascinating, Jesse, is that the email that was written by Susan Rice on the day that the President Trump was being sworn in is nothing more than a self-serving statement, which is generally not allowed in a courtroom if you're the defendant. But it also, to me, as a former prosecutor, is an admission. It is consciousness of guilt. It is building a defense for Barack Obama when, in fact, no one is asked. It's like the police come to your house and you say, I didn't shoot my wife, okay, but she's upstairs and she's dead of a gunshot wound. Why are you even phrasing it like that? And the other part of this is that, you know, when you read what they say, she says the president is not initiating or instructing anything, and that the law enforcement needs to do what it does by the book and be mindful that we cannot entertain or share information possibly about Russia with the Trump administration. That's basically saying that Obama said, consider not giving this information to Trump. I mean, she could only say it clearly, more clearly, if she left out one word. And by the Democrats trying to get the grand jury testimony of the Mueller investigation. First of all, think of the fact that this was the most anti-Trump organization investigation going. And secondly, there's nothing else in there. They found there was no collusion. So it's all just building up to getting Trump out of office.
Dana, what do you think?
Well, I think that impeachment 2.0 is actually going to be impeachment infinity, because as long as President Trump is in office, the Democrats will say that they are trying to impeach him or looking into impeachment. And even, I mean, basically having their rear ends handed to them in January on the vote, they still continue to pursue it. And partly that's because their base, the left wing, will demand that. And so they're trying to fulfill that demand. On the grand jury testimony, I had Trey Gowdy on the Daily Briefing today, and he made a great point, I'm sure the judge would agree, is that grand jury testimony is secret for a reason. Because prosecutors take the grand jury testimony and they indict or they don't. There's no middle ground. Like, you don't get to go in and look at grand jury testimony just because you're curious and because you want to do something political. Now, I do think that Lindsey Graham's hearing that he's planning to hold on the Senate side will probably get a lot more answers than anything else. And these, we're declassifying emails. We have lists now. There's a lot more information now than they even had in January when they were trying to impeach him in the Senate.
Yeah, that Graham investigation can't come soon enough. Greg, impeachment infinity. That sounds like a nice line.
Yeah, it reminds me of like how I just lost track of all the Star Wars sequels. You know, after the second one, I just stopped. But I guess the truth is, the Democrats would rather beat Trump than a virus. They think about this. You have an election in 6 months. God knows what's going to happen before them. So why impeachment? I think it's because they actually fear good news. They know that possibly the next phase will be incredible for America as we get back to work. There's going to be an unbridled sense of optimism and hope, and that's going to help Trump because he's the king of optimism, and they can't have that. So they need to combat good news with this impeachment, which is nothing but a smear, and it exposes their naked priorities.
What kind of naked priorities do you have, Mr. Williams?
Oh, I believe in the Constitution and the Founding Fathers, and that Congress is an equal branch of government with every right to request what they need in terms of oversight, and that if there's a conflict, we have the judiciary to settle the issue. And in this case, what we know is that the U.S. Court of Appeals ruled in March, Jesse, that Congress has a right to see the full report, and that what we know now is that, in fact, it's Trump's Justice Department that has redacted the Mueller report, won't let people see it, apparently out of fear that it will reveal obstruction in terms of the Roger Stone case, in case of the Michael Flynn case.
That's the law, Juan.
And that's why they're fighting this and why they've taken it to the Supreme Court.
It.
No,
they're not. And let me just tell you something. It's the Congress of the United States that has the legal right to this information. But I guess people want to cover up for the president no matter what.
No, that's absolutely not the case.
No
the
cover
law
up here,
is the
Juan.
law. All right.
Oh yeah, no.
Nope,
You've seen
not
it
at
all.
all.
You've actually seen too much.